Friends in the Corner, a new podcast experience in the bluegrass state of Kentucky. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Dan Pauley, and I am your host this evening. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at FITC Podcast. You can also email the show at friendsinthecorner, all together lowercase, at gmail.com as well. And guys, we are back with another episode in October Originals. Yes, all this month we're doing original content here. We're going to use the interviews for another time, but we're just going to be putting some stuff out there we hope you guys like for this month as well. And today is no exception. I'm excited about today's episode. I've invited my good friend, Mr. Flakey Square, Evan Drysdale. You've heard me drop his name on this podcast here before. He's here today to share with us some stories. We're going to talk about some stories about some different stuff, so you don't want to miss that. But before we get into tonight's episode, I do want to talk about something that's been on my mind today. I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend here, but we had a few guests in town, if you want to call them that. The people from Barstool Sports were in town doing an event over at Legends Field, and they decided to stop by and do a few pizza reviews of some of our pizza shops around the town here. They went to Pies and Pints, they went to Pitana, and they went to Goodfellas Pizza. And let's just say they weren't very amused with our options that we had here in town. They made sure to let you guys know that on their YouTube and their social media pages there. But one incident did actually specifically happen at the Goodfellas Distillery here in town, and they gave it a 0-star review, and it was just a YouTube video, so a lot of people, including myself, didn't think anything of it. But after that video went out, people on social media began to start attacking Goodfellas, and to a lesser extent Pitana, just about the quality of their shops, the quality of their pizza, and the quality of the employees that they have working there. And I just felt so bad for the people at Goodfellas. I frequently go to Goodfellas over there off Manchester Street. It's an amazing place. If you've never been, it's such a fun time just to be there. And I've never had a problem with the pizza. The pizza's always been good. I've never had a problem with the atmosphere, and I've never really had a problem with the staff. The worst thing that's ever happened to me with the staff was just I was standing in a place I shouldn't have been, and they came up to me and told me to move to the bar. That's it. So I don't understand all the attacks that's been going out towards Goodfellas and to Pitana, just because these guys came in town and gave their opinions about our pizza places. But I just felt like I needed to come to the defense of Goodfellas and Pitana. They're just trying to do good work, guys, and I hope you guys go out there and try to give them some support in this time. So please, go get a slice of pizza at Goodfellas. Go sit down, have a drink and a pizza over at Pitana. Go to Pies and Pints, guys. Go support local businesses, guys, because that's what makes a difference here in this community. #ShareTheLex. But guys, we're going to get into tonight's show. As I mentioned, we're in the middle of October Originals, and so tonight we have a new series we're doing called So Here's the Story. And I invited my good buddy, Mr. Flakey Square, Evan Drysdale, on this episode so that we can both share a story with each other and have a good laugh, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mr. Evan Drysdale. All right, well, we are here with someone I've been looking forward to having on the podcast here for a while, Mr. Evan Drysdale. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty well today.
Oh, good, man. Well, good. Well, we name-dropped you a little bit on Sal's episode. I don't know if you gotten the chance to listen to that yet.
I did. It's good.
Yeah, so, and you got a shout-out on the last podcast, too, but now we're here to have you on, man. So, me and Evan...
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. So, me and Evan have been friends for a long time now. We lived together in college.
Mm-hmm. Been friends for 7 years.
7 years, lived together for 3 years.
Yeah.
We had a house together in college with seven guys.
Yeah, at least 7 guys.
At least 7 guys, give or take whoever was sleeping on the couch at the time. And here in the next couple of weeks, one of our old roommates, Travis, who many of you got to experience greatly on the Bourbon Review.
It's a classic Travis for you.
Yeah. He's getting ready to move to D.C., so we're the last of the original house together.
Yeah, last of the Shire. The Shire was the name we affectionately called our household back in college.
Yeah, so Evan, just to give you a little bit of time here, introduce yourself to the audience here. Tell them a little bit about who you are.
Well, the name, like you said, it's Evan Drysdale. Born and raised in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. I am married to my beautiful wife, Caitlin. We have a rowdy dog named Rocco.
Who hates me.
He is not a fan of Dan.
Not at all for years.
For 4 years, Dan has tried to become friends with Rocco, and for 4 years, Rocco has turned him down.
What was the biggest kick to the gonads, I thought, was earlier this spring when Catherine and I started dating. I brought Catherine over to their house, and we had like a game night and stuff like that. And within minutes, Rocco fell in love with Catherine, but still hates me.
Yeah, he still hates you. I mean, well, I think you kind of ran at him the first time to pet him.
And that's what
ever since then.
That's what broke it.
That's what broke the I guess the brick that broke the camel's back, because you hadn't met him before that. So first time impressions make the difference. So. Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But, so that's basically me. I love Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
I love plants. If you were to look around my living room right now, you'd see probably about 15 to 20 different plants. We have a banana tree. I have 3 different orchids, a few different succulents and snake and spider plants. Plants are cool.
And if y'all ever want to see Evan in person, I'll tell you one place you can go and see him at. Friends of the show, A Cup of Commonwealth. He's been there now for about, 5 years?
4.5.
4.5 years. He'll serve you some coffee. He's either there or over at Chocolate Holler.
Yep.
Or maybe not there at all. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe there's a good chance you'll run into me at one of those places.
Stop and say hi and tell him how you prefer Dan.
Or you probably prefer me.
Hush you. I'll tell you a little bit about what we're going to do here. So October, we're trying to do a little more original content because there's only so far interviews can go before people start saying no to you. So
yeah, that happens.
So we're doing a little more original content. And one thing I wanted to start was a series called So Here's the Story. And so the idea of So Here's the Story is that we each have taken some time to research a story. It can either be about Kentucky or something else, and we're going to share it with each other and try to get each other's reactions. Hopefully it's stuff that you guys find entertaining as well. So, but it'll be enjoyable. So I've elected to go first here. I'm going to share my story with Evan, and then in the next episode, you'll get to hear Evan's story, and we're going to talk about that as well. So, Evan, are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, man. Well, here we go. So here's the story of Funtown Mountain. Have you heard about Funtown Mountain before?
I feel like I've driven past Funtown.
Well, yeah, so maybe some of you who are familiar with the Kentucky area, especially going out to Glasgow, you've heard a little bit about Funtown Mountain or Guntown Mountain, which we're going to get into. So we'll jump in here. Our story takes place just outside Glasgow, Kentucky, in Cave City. Cave City is in Barron County with a population just over 2,000 people. It gets its name because of a nearby attraction. Guess what that attraction might be?
I'm going to go ahead and say it's a cave.
Possibly. Probably a big cave.
A mildly big cave?
You could probably fit a mammoth through it.
What about 2 mammoths?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
How big was a mammoth?
How big was a mammoth? Roughly like an elephant size.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you can fit a few mammoths, but it was Mammoth Cave. That's where we're getting. Yeah. Being right off of I-65 heading into Bowling Green, Cave City is known for its offside road attractions similar to those of Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg.
Also, just a quick sidebar, Mammoth Cave is the largest cave system in the world.
Yeah, there you go. You should go. Everyone, if you've never been, you should go tour it out. It's pretty neat. I just did it.
National park.
Yeah, I just
support the park system.
I just toured it for the first time this past summer. So back to Cave City here. For decades, the town was able to capitalize off tourists heading into Mammoth Cave with the attractions that were offered, from wax museums, an action park, and one of the more popular ones, Dinosaur World, the dinosaur theme park. If you're off I-65, you'll see like all these plastic dinosaurs right off the side there.
I do like a good dinosaur.
Cave City made a market trying to provide different entertainment for those looking to take a break from the cave system. And there was one attraction that stood off from above the rest because it was on a mountain.
So. I'm guessing that's Fun Mountain.
Fun. Well, it wasn't Funtown at the moment. It was Guntown. So in 1969, a new attraction would open at the top of the hill right off the highway called Guntown Mountain, Wild West Town. It was started by longtime owner Dan Brody. The attraction started at the bottom of the hill off the highway, and guests had to take a ski lift up the mountain to see the rest of the park. When you got there, you were greeted by an old saloon-looking building with a gift shop and bluegrass shows throughout the day. As the years went on, Brody would add more and more to create this old Wild West theme setting atop the hill.
We talking like Will Smith Wild Wild West, or is this like Westworld Wild? What kind of Wild Wild West?
We're talking like Unforgiven Wild West.
Oh, almost
310
like
to
a
Yuma.
True Grit.
True Grit type of styled saloons. Like the sheriff's coming.
Sheriff, but it's not like a Hollywood where it's all set up in a line.
Well, so it looked like a Hollywood set actually.
Okay,
but yes, but it had a Wild West theme, like drinking in the saloon, then the sheriff comes out and they get into a shootout. That's what we're rocking with.
Alrighty.
So some of the
I want to paint the picture in my head.
A nice visual of it. So some of the entertainment that was offered atop the hill here. They had can dancing, magic shows.
Always nice.
Yeah, magic shows, haunted house, a beautiful view of the Cave City from atop, so you could go and look down and see this beautiful view of a small Kentucky town.
Yeah, you're really sending pictures of that home.
Oh, no, it's like, hey, I want to put this on a postcard, right? They were also one of the last Western attractions to show a live hanging.
Live hanging?
Yeah, well, not like literally killing someone, but like they were showing.
I thought they were like you had volunteer deaths every day.
Yeah, you know the Kentucky prison system was just too many people.
Really in shambles.
Really in shambles at the time, and they realized the only way to like really deal with the amount of death crime we had was to.
This is like Roman Colosseum.
I mean, have you never watched like a Western where they do a hanging?
Yeah, but people don't pay to you shouldn't pay to watch it.
Yeah, these people did. Now the person didn't just like die; he had a harness and everything. But yeah, they were one of the last. It's probably why they were one of the last attractions to show a live hanging.
When was that ever actually a thing? Was this a regular, like you go out to the corner carnival and all of a sudden there's a hanging?
I guess so. In that town, the cowboys just got together, grabbed their wives. We're like, we're gonna go watch the hanging today.
Go watch the hanging.
They're gonna be hanging old Billy Bob.
Get my Cracker Jacks.
Gonna be hanging Billy Bob. But the hanging was a big attraction, and what they were most known for was the gun show, where they would have reenactments of old town Western shootings. So the sheriff, the robbers, and all that stuff.
All out there,
ready to go, bang bang. Other attractions also include the Undertaker's funeral parlor, where you could see old school caskets with dummies in them from the olden days. And they also had a museum of gunfighters.
So it was like a wax museum?
No, it was just pictures. Like just pictures in lettering.
Oh, I thought okay.
Like they had some wax figures.
Oh, so they did have wax figures.
Well, there was a wax museum in Cave City. I don't know if it's still there or not, but this wasn't a part of that.
Non-affiliated.
No.
Okay. But they did have a history of gunslingers.
They did have history, yes. They were also in partnership with the local Kentucky Action Park, so they also provide other things, including goat carts, bumper boats, and chute slides. And there was only 2 ways to get access to the top of the mountain for Guntown. It was either by a ski lift or by a shuttle van from the private road.
So you're either putting your life in the hands of some potentially rickety old ski lift.
Good old Billy Bob Joe.
Billy Bob Joe has got his truck hitch attached to the top, trying to crank you up on his old Chevy 150. Or you're on some random private road.
Going up the side of a hill.
I
mean, it all screams murder.
It very much screams murder. It screams like that you could probably distantly hear banjo music.
Yeah, very, very backwoods.
Very Deliverance.
That's the word I was looking for, Deliverance.
Yeah.
Old Billy Bob's driving me up in the private van. He's like, hey, glad you guys can make it. You're going to watch me be lively hung today. I'm hungover, but
I'll be hungover, and later I'll be hung.
Exactly. It's a complete circle. But yes, so these all made up Guntown Mountain. The side road attraction was a staple of Cave City for many decades for tourists traveling through the area. But near the end of 1999 into the year 2000,
so this was like not too terribly long ago.
No, so a lot of this is very relevant history, especially when we get to the end here.
I was thinking this was like the 70s or something.
Well, I mean, it started in the 70s. But
okay, but it's active.
This is a more modern day story, especially when we get to the good parts.
Okay, all right. I'll let you speak. Let's go.
So 2000 is when Brody sold off a part of the park. He sold a portion of the park to Wayne Sexton and Stan Lawson. Sexton had worked as a manager for the park since 1980. And while Lawson and Sexton bought Guntown Mountain from the top hill, Brody still had ownership of the bottom end where the gift shops and the theme park rides were located at.
So he was still getting all the money for the gift shops then?
Yeah, so he still had a portion of his sales there. But everything, the entire Wild West theme, the gun shows and all that stuff, that was all under Sexton and Lawson.
Oh, so those guys are getting the insurance brunt.
Yeah, so anything happens up on the top there.
Yeah, top of the mountains where all the insurance issues are.
Yeah, it's like, can I write this? I got shot today. Can I write this off as workers' comp? I got hung today and wasn't very successful.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, trying to imagine filling out that insurance paperwork.
Jesus, yeah. Well, it wasn't a very easy start for Sexton and Lawson, as an electrical fire burned down a portion of the park that same year, including the original saloon building that Brody had built.
Oh, dang.
So it's like, you don't even have a bar anymore.
You don't have a saloon at your Western?
No. That's like a missing piece.
That's the piece. That's the piece you need to have. A Western is the saloon.
Yeah. You go there to drink because you're in a small town.
There's nothing else to do.
Exactly. That was just the beginning. As it was under Sexton and Lawson's ownership that Guntown Mountain really began to go downhill.
Boom.
In the early 2000s, former employees took to message boards to talk about how things were going for Guntown Mountain.
So these were early message boards.
These were the most early message board. And I want to say this, during this period, 2000 to 2013, there's not really a whole lot written about the history of Guntown Mountain up to that point. So I had to rely on the message boards to fill in the gaps here. So how true and accurate this may be, you can take it with a grain of salt, but damn, it makes for a good story. So, the first nail in the Undertaker's coffin came when the rides were shut down. Brody decided to sell off the rides as they were proven to be too expensive to...
Insurance.
The insurance is actually what the issue was. Yeah. And they were just too expensive to rent. So, he offered to sell them to Sexton. Sexton said no.
Okay. All right. Probably smartly so.
And he's like, well, we can't afford it. He's like, we can barely... keep people from not getting hung up on the hill. It's like, we can't keep people
some of them voluntarily.
Yeah, voluntarily. He's hanging. He's like, I volunteer as tribute. Shut up, Billy Bob. Former employees also talked about how dirty the place was, being littered with trash and junk from around the area. They also talked about how there used to be cabins atop the mountains where guests, employees, and people that just randomly walked onto the grounds could get a nice quickie in during their time at the park.
Oh, just so we got random, like, hillbillies.
Yeah, just go up there and have sex.
Yeah, like Three Tooth Martha and Billy Bob Joe.
They also talked about how there used to be pickup trucks loaded of beer below the stage where the Can show took place. And employees could go there and, quote-unquote, indulge as much as they would like.
I mean, that's not a bad, like, work perk.
No, I was like, you got this 2 pickup trucks loaded of beer? Back down here. They also talked about the bunker. That was.
It sounds like a. I don't know what it sounds like. It doesn't sound good, but it doesn't sound like.
Well, it seemed good for them because they had the pickup trucks full of beer, but the bunker is where employees could go to get boozed up before, during, or after their performances for the day.
So the pickups aren't good enough?
But yeah, they I guess they had the good stuff in the bunker.
Okay, so you got the Natty Light and the pickups.
Yeah, Billy Bob's down there. He's like, I remember when I was just sticking to the pickup trucks. I moved on to the bunker.
The bunker, the bunker, that's got your Blantons.
Yeah. It's like,
that's going to have your Evan Williams. They're going to be drinking some of that just straight up Kentucky moonshine.
They're drinking probably some of what we're drinking right now, the good old Pab Blue Ribbon here.
Yeah.
So the bunker and the pickup trucks help
So we have
provide
the bunker, we have the pickup truck. We have these cabins.
these cabins that they can go and
Relieve some stress in.
relieve some stress from the little money they were getting paid. As a former employee put it on this discussion board, he said, "If you want a rundown, crappy experience, then visit Guntown Mountain. If you want a drunken orgy, just work there."
Oh, God. That's probably not something you want your employees to say.
So, former guests also filled in their experiences on the message board as well. One talking about how they attended a can show with their 5-year-old. Enjoyed the show, but then a few minutes after...
all in all, just a bad parenting decision.
Let's go to the can show.
You take your 5-year-old, hey, little Timmy, let's go to the can show. No, let's not go to the can show.
Billy Bob's there in the corner. Like, I remember I was. But they talked about how they watched the show and enjoyed it, but then not too long after the show, the performers would sit in the back corner and smoke in the building.
And that really kind of removes the mystique.
Really, yeah, destroys the magic of it all.
Yeah.
So it's like, were you just on stage? Like, yeah.
It's sort of like when Mickey takes his helmet off at Disney
Yeah,
World.
it's like, well, former guests talked about their experiences. They also talked about their disappointment with the replacement for a magic show. Around this time, the longtime magician, known as Dinky.
That's a terrible magician's name.
I know, well, he was a long time. He quit, and he went to Bowling Green for better money.
Well, I mean, I can't blame Dinky, really.
I wonder.
I can blame him for his name.
I wonder if we can find Dinky. That'd be an awesome episode. Like, hey, Dinky, if you listen to this episode, reach out to us. You can email me at friendsinthecorner@gmail.com. That's friendsinthecorner, all together, lowercase, @gmail.com. They replaced Dinky with an Elvis impersonator.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, think about that. It's like, what does Elvis have to do with an old Western town?
Nothing. Rhinestones. He's a rhinestone cowboy.
Oh.
I'm a rhinestone cowboy. It's not even the right singer, but... So so they replaced Dinky the magician with an Elvis impersonator
Yes.
at Guntown Mountain.
Yes.
Okay, I'm tracking.
It's going very not great for them right now.
Guntown Mountain's really not doing too hot.
No, it's not.
They're backfiring.
And as I mentioned, everything I just shared with you guys, that all comes from a discussion board, so take over a grain of salt. It may not be good, but it's a darn good story. So all these facts come from the message boards, as I mentioned. But what was, without question, though, as you mentioned, Evan, was Guntown Mountain was struggling.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
They're struggle busing.
The popularity of Cave City and Side Road theme park attractions began to slow down, and business was in decline for many of the attractions around the national park area. Except for the national park, obviously. Mammoth Cave is still going to make its money.
All right, Mammoth Cave.
Yeah.
National park status. Support the park system.
And in 2013, last under the ownership of Lawson and Sexton, the park closed its gates for good due to the decline in ticket sales and popularity.
RIP.
Yeah, probably because of the Elvis impersonator.
Probably the Elvis impersonator.
Really kicked them down the hill there.
Yeah.
For many years, the original buildings and props stayed up, but it was left abandoned. And now,
like the real Wild West.
Yeah, like the real Wild West, just abandoned buildings up the top of the hill.
Yep.
And now, Evan, we come to the real part of the story.
Okay, so this has been back. It's a lot of backstory.
This is a lot of backstory, but it's all worth it just to get to this point right here, because this is where the bread and butter are. So we come to the person that's going to be most memorable in this story, Mr. Will Russell.
Will Russell.
Will Russell, and he's going to be a name that's going to come up a lot. Will Russell was an entrepreneur in Louisville, owning a number of wacky gift shops and unique Kentucky merchandise themed stuff from his store called Why Kentucky. So kind of, I guess, the Lexington equivalent we can compare his stores to would be Kentucky for Kentucky.
Okay.
I don't know this for sure, but I think those guys had a lot of influence from Will Russell and his stores, because they were kind of doing that before Kentucky for Kentucky. And Kentucky for Kentucky is the guys who created the y'all shirts that you see around the state here.
Yeah, Kentucky for Kentucky. They do great things.
Yeah, they're really cool. So Will Russell was one of the very first people to like really market Kentucky pride.
Okay.
And so just to keep that in mind, one of his stores had a mural painted on the side of it with a version of the Kentucky Mount Rushmore. The faces included. Who do you want to take guesses of the faces?
Kentucky for the Kentucky Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, there's 4 of them.
It's got to be Abe.
Yes.
Okay. Good old Abe. Honest Abe. Born here. Raised here. I'm going to go Colonel Sanders.
Yes. 2 for 2.
Are we doing 4?
Yeah, there's four
Yeah,
faces.
okay. I was making sure we were sticking with the 4 theme. Adolf Rupp.
No.
Oh. That was the only other guess I had.
Muhammad Ali
Oh, yes. Born in Louisville.
and Secretariat.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
that makes sense.
So those were the 4 faces of his Kentucky Mount Rushmore. Abe, Colonel Sanders, Muhammad Ali, and Secretariat. Russell is also one of the founders, and I think this is something even more interesting. Russell was also one of the founders of the Big Lebowski Festival that first took place in Louisville.
Yeah.
In 2002, Lebowski Fest.
Lebowski Fest.
Lebowski Fest. Dude. The dude.
The dude.
The Courier Journal states that as the Lebowski Fest notoriety increased, Russell became one of Louisville's most recognized businessmen and was nominated for an Ernest and Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. A professor at the University of Louisville who often invited Russell to speak talked about what he thought of the young gentleman,
Okay.
saying to the Journal, I remember listening to him speak about how he built both businesses and immediately recognized him as a visionary.
So, I mean, this is high praise.
High praised individual here in the state of Kentucky.
Who has done many, many great things.
Yes.
Public speaker,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, visionary,
Kentucky Proud guy.
Kentucky Proud,
Yeah.
Go Cats.
So
So this is the guy who he sees something in Guntown Mountain.
yes.
Okay.
And that's where we go with this.
Alrighty.
In June 2015, Will Russell purchases the park with the help of a Kickstarter campaign and a $250,000 loan from the Kentucky Tourism Division.
So he's got some money from this then.
Yeah, he's got a lot of backing in
His
this.
own personal wealth, and then
He's
he's gotten in.
He's
Okay.
adding this in. Russell said he had a personal connection to the park, saying that he proposed to his wife while riding the ski lift up to Guntown Mountain.
Okay, wait. So this guy, this potentially like he's wealthy.
Yeah,
He proposes to his wife on a ski lift being pulled up by an old Chevy winch
in Cave City, Kentucky.
in Cave City, Kentucky.
He could have gone to the waterfront in Louisville.
You got waterfront Louisville.
Could have gone to Keeneland. Could have
Gone
gone
to Keeneland.
to the Natural Bridge.
I mean, the man probably could have gotten into the infield of Churchill Downs or Keeneland.
Could have gone. Yeah, he could have gone to the cave system, and
He could have gone into the cave system.
yeah, he had options. But
He could have even waited till he got into the top and been looking out over the landscape
yes, but he chose the ski lift.
on the ski. Okay.
On the ski lift, going up to Guntown Mountain.
Okay, to each their own.
Each their own. And that's a quote he said in the local paper. With a vision in mind, Russell stated that he wanted to brand Cave City as the, quote, roadside attraction of the world.
That's a bold claim for rural Kentucky.
I know. You're like, Pigeon Forge, we're going to destroy him.
We're gonna destroy Dolly Parton.
There's like...
Dolly Parton? Don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it's like, this ain't Dolly Parton. This is Will Russellville.
This is Russell City.
Russell City. But Russell's vision did not include the Wild West theme. And so he began
Probably
to
a good
change...
idea.
Yeah, move away from that. So he began to change the historical park. Russell was looking to make the park more into a family-friendly environment with carnival food, animatronic bands, a large movie theater that played shows. He also hoped to create a museum of interesting collectibles covering the rich and crazy history of Kentucky.
Okay, so he's going all out on this.
Yes, he's got an idea. He's wanting to do this. One thing that people were surprised to hear that he was removing, though, was the gunfights, saying that he didn't, and I want you to keep this quote in mind as we get to talking about this,
Okay.
saying he didn't want his daughter to see them as they were too violent.
I can respect that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to expose your child to too much violence.
Mhm.
All right. Good parenting.
To mark the move away from the Wild West theme park, Russell changed the name from Guntown Mountain to Funtown Mountain. And to help with the marketing, how he changed it, there's a big for those of you who drive on I-65, you'll see it. There's a big sign off the freeway there, I think up the hill, that says Guntown Mountain. He took a big red F and slapped it over the G. The rest of the sign is black, so there's this big red F over where it says
it's
Funtown
clever.
Mountain.
It's very distinct. You see, it's good marketing.
He's like,
Now it's
like,
Funtown.
here's the color scheme.
Boom.
Guntown Mountain, no more. We are Funtown Mountain.
Also, kind of really lazy at the same time. You couldn't come up with something different.
Yeah, it's like you're already putting all this money in. You can't make a new sign for your adventure here.
Yeah, the new venture business.
He then said that on June 19, 2015, the park would reopen and he would have what he quoted as a grand awesoming.
A grand what?
A grand awesoming.
A grand awesoming.
Awesoming. He called it the grand
So he's
awesoming.
creating words
To promote this park.
to promote the park in rural Kentucky that is going to be the greatest roadside attraction in the world.
Yes.
I mean, he's a visionary.
He is a visionary.
He's a visionary.
This is Lebowski Fest guy, so I mean he's used to this
The
stuff.
man's got experience in this.
So the grand awesoming took place on the platform of the old chairlift, which had since been shut down, the place where he asked his wife to marry him. And they had the grand opening there with the mayor of Cave City. The platform
Do you really need a mayor for a city of 48 people?
apparently here. But what made it best is during the grand opening, the platform was actually deemed unsafe for human activity.
It kind of ruins the whole spiel, your whole grand awesoming.
Yeah, and awesoming is like, we're going to open the park. The ski lift's not open, but we're going to do it right there on the platform. Can we stand it? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We're going to stand on it anyway.
Billy Bob's gone. Got hung. But the park was open. The park was open for 6 weeks.
Oh.
So what happened?
Oh, poor Russell.
Well, while attending Lebowski Fest, Russell was arrested for smoking pot in a bowling alley. The way the dude would love it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go out, you go out like the dude.
It was during this time Russell would continue to have issues as he was arrested 4 times in 3 months for public intoxication and drug possession.
Oh, man. None of those are things you want to do.
No, especially when you just open this park, you've gotten your name out there. You're a pretty recognizable dude in the
Also,
Louisville area.
You just opened a massive park. How do you have time
To
go out partying in bowling alleys?
Well, he runs Lebowski Fest. You got to go out there and promote Lebowski Fest while you're still doing this.
All right, go out to the Too Many White Russians, I guess.
Well, sometime after he was released, one day Russell came up to the park while it was still in operation, and there were still people on the property. And Russell started throwing paint all over the place.
Throwing paint?
He threw paint.
This is like Coney.
Yeah. He was
breakdown.
He was throwing paint on the buildings. He threw paint on props, and he threw paint even on people. He started drawing words and symbols into the paint on the ground in areas. And when staff approached him,
lost it.
He's gone. He's screwed his loose here. When staff approached him, he said he was expressing himself artistically.
So now he's an artist now.
He's an artiste. Not too long after, in September 2015.
Wearing a beret.
Not too after, in September of 2015, the park closed for an undisclosed amount of time. Russell posted pictures on Instagram of a handwritten note that said, "Closed due to rapture. You may wander about, but don't let the cat out."
What?
And you can Google the picture too.
The man's lost his mind.
The man had, yes. So the park's here. He's like, "Oh, you can still come if you want, but
I'm not gonna be there.
Don't let the cat out."
What cat?
I don't know.
Did they leave a cat locked up in the bunker?
Maybe it's like the old bunkers where they keep the cats now.
Yeah.
They play with.
Or it's like Disney World. They keep the cats until night, and they let the cats out to catch all the mice.
Oh, God. Russell would come up to the theme park and vandalize the property. He broke down doors, smashed in windows, threw paint at the buildings. He would also invite people up to the same park and he would invite people up to the park to help smash up the property as well. One story was told that he took a bucket of paint and poured it into the cash register while it was full of cash. He's like, this is his art.
This is his art. I mean, I guess if you're a man who, presumably, given visionary entrepreneur, he could spare some cash.
Hopefully, but
in pursuit of his artistic expression.
By destroying the park and
destroying the
cash register.
He got the $250,000 from the tourism, and whatever he got from the Kickstarter. He's sitting pretty.
He also would invite people via social media up to the park to take whatever they like. So
this is just like a 5-finger discount now.
Yeah, so people are literally coming up in pickup trucks and stealing all this stuff from the park.
Oh, they're not stealing. He let them have it.
He let them have it, giving it away. Well, the problem was, though, that this property didn't actually belong to Russell. So he did have all that money from the state and from his GoFundMe. But people came and took those refrigerators, their props, and equipment that he didn't own. Much of the equipment that was taken did not belong to Russell, but it was loaned to him or donated to the park.
Oh.
So people are just like, all right, got this refrigerator. You don't mind, Russell? It's like, no, it's Billy Bob's. You can just take it.
You can just take Billy Bob's gone a while.
Billy Bob's gone. Hanging didn't go well.
Ended up in the bunker.
By the end of the summer, Cave City declared the amusement park, or the city of Cave City officials declared the amusement park as a hazard, having no electricity, no business, and trash scattered throughout the property. Robert Smith from Cave City's Code Enforcement Office said in an interview, "It's not safe for the normal person to be walking around here." And the theme park was closed to the public and condemned.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. But despite this, Russell, who had been avoiding the police and the city officials at the time, maintained that the property will still remain open as he needed money to pay back the bank.
He's got nothing on the property. How's he gonna? What is he gonna do with it?
It's also condemned. Like
he doesn't own the property.
When asked about the destruction of the property, Russell continued to state that the chaos on top of the hill was his form of art.
Yeah, man, the man's got a screw loose. Is what that is. He lost it. He got too into the Lebowski.
Yeah, too much of a Lebowski fest for him.
Too many White Russians.
The police eventually also had to ban Russell from the property that he owned. And by the end of 2015, without Russell's ability to pay for the property mortgage, it was handed back over to the city. So
well, good for Cave City.
Good for City.
They've got some nice land now.
It's all destroyed and tethered, and there. If you want to see Google Funtown Mountain, you'll see like all the destruction. It's very fascinating.
Poor Funtown Mountain.
Funtown Mountain's like you struggled. Just everything going on with Guntown Mountain.
Where's Russell now?
We're getting there.
Oh, we're not done yet. Okay.
So in April 2016, an auction took place for Funtown Mountain with 10 possible buyers for the property. Of the people that are attending this auction was Dan Brody, the original owner of Guntown Mountain. He was just there to make sure that whoever bought the property next would actually take care of it this time.
Yeah, probably good.
This is my baby. It's like I already lost my saloon house.
I lost my saloon house. I lost my bunker.
Lost my bunker. I lost
my pickup trucks.
Lost the pickup truck full of beer. Yeah, he's like, it's a shattered remain of sadness up on the hill. So for him, lucky for him, the property was auctioned off and purchased by David Frogert Jr.
Frogert?
Yeah, Frogert Jr.
I mean, his name's already frozen for a yogurt stand. Frozen yogurt.
He was a radio station owner in Metcalfe, Kentucky.
Yeah,
Metcalfe County. And he bought the property for $2,950,000.
Oh wow! So they got a good piece of money for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. He bought the property for $2,905,000.
Okay.
$250,000.
$250,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a decent price for that.
So that's about what Russell's loan was. So Frogert purchased the park and promised to return it to its original status. And on July 23rd, 2018, the park reopened, renamed back into Guntown Mountain.
Yeah.
And it brought back many of the and it brought back many of the Western themes and number of attractions that were well remembered by the park.
Oh, I'm happy for them now.
Yes. So they brought back the can shows.
Cans.
They brought back the magic shows. I don't think they brought back
Dinky. Dinky's still in Bowling Green.
But most importantly, what they brought back were the gun shows.
Yeah.
Because of their efforts for revitalizing the park, Cave City Chamber of Commerce named Frogert Gun Mountain their Member of the Month. I think Member of the Month. I think that just for the fact they didn't destroy the park, just one. It's like you already did better.
Did better than the last two owners. Really.
Yeah, it's like we're on board with this.
Yeah.
So what happened to Will Russell?
Tell me.
On September 17, 2015, he was arrested by Louisville police and charged with first-degree endangerment after police said he set fire to his own house.
Oh, so he's trying to get the insurance money back.
Maybe. He was then arrested again a couple days later on a DUI and charged with bribery of a public servant.
So he tried to bribe the police to get out of his ticket.
Yes, and things did not stop there. Because Russell filed for bankruptcy after not being able to pay the mortgage for the park.
Okay. His
apparel stores, White Kentucky, took a drastic financial hit. When profits were down, he decided to combat this by vandalizing one of his stores, writing "shatter" in spray paint across one of the windows.
Why shatter?
I don't know. It's SHATTER.
Yeah,
shatter across the window. And he eventually...
That's not how you shatter glass.
It's like, spray paint. This will do it.
With my artistic expression.
And he eventually closed down both of his stores in Louisville.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor guy. After this, Russell fell off.
Fall from grace.
Yeah. You were a promising visionary one day.
Yeah.
At one point. After this, Russell fell off the public radar for a bit, seeking help for issues that he had been going through. See, since 1996... Russell had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and had some...
That makes a lot of sense.
It's filling in the gaps now.
It's filling in the gaps now.
And had some depressive episodes while he was in college at the University of Dayton. Go Flyers.
Boo. Go Cats.
But by 2002, thanks to the help of some medication and, as he stated, shock therapy...
2002?
2002. That's the same year he founded the Lebowski Fest.
Okay, so
yes.
we're at, yeah.
2002, with the help of medication and shock therapy, he had stated that he seemed to be in a stable condition, and that's the same year that he founded Lebowski Fest. During this transition of Funtown Mountain, Russell had stopped taking his medication, which led to the episodes that followed. Filling in the gaps now.
It's all making more sense now.
But he did receive the help he needed to get back on track. And in a 2017 interview, he talked about how he was trying to put the pieces back together.
Good for him.
So he's getting, he actually is getting, there's a good story to this.
Okay, this is like, a little silver lining here.
Yeah. To combat his own mental illness and mental health issues and become an advocate for teaching people to understand the struggles of mental illness, Russell helped launch the Everything is Okay project. It is a website that states that it seeks to normalize the topic of mental health.
Good for him.
Yeah, so
he's still a visionary.
He's still being proactive, which is great. He also opened up a new store in Louisville known as The Marvelous Mystery.
Okay.
Which takes off where Why Louisville left off, selling T-shirts and providing an experience for people who visit. During the opening weekend in summer 2018, Russell was present for the opening, dressed up like Beetlejuice and welcoming people into the store.
I'm not sure real Beetlejuice is really you're painting yourself as a sane character with that one.
It's like you're trying to get it all together. He plans to open a permanent location before the end of the year. And that's the story of Funtown Mountain.
What a great story.
Yeah.
You had kind of rising star.
Mm-hmm.
It's western. Hits a little rough patch.
Hanging.
So there's some hangings.
Yeah. There's some destruction.
There's some destruction. There's some pickups.
Mm-hmm.
Every good like rural story needs a couple of pickups.
Mm-hmm.
Then you know what? Guntown Mountain's back.
Yeah, it's going. Apparently, it's going very well.
The man who ran it into the ground, he's doing back. He's back on top.
He just needed to remove himself from the situation and got himself back on shape. So it's a really good story from start to finish. Funny as all get out.
Yeah,
this literally happened like 3 years ago in small city, recent. Cave City. Yeah, which is great. But the one thing I want to also state for the podcast, just I know we just talked about how he was diagnosed with some mental struggles. Mm-hmm. And I don't want this to sound like we're making fun of him or anything like that, because it's just a good story we're enjoying, and we're very happy for what he's doing now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Y'all should go and check out Everything's Okay Project. Go check out The Marvelous Mystery. And I say this, like, I'm actually very inspired by Will Russell, because he's done stuff like Lebowski Fest.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for why Louisville, Kentucky for Kentucky probably wouldn't be around, because this podcast probably wouldn't be around. He's the first person to really market a Kentucky Proud, or not Kentucky Proud the brand, but like
Kentucky Pride.
Kentucky Pride.
Yeah. Some really owning the state. It's great.
Mm-hmm. So good for you, Will Russell. We're very happy for you, man.
Yeah.
So was that more than you were wanting to know about Funtown Mountain?
I never thought I would know that much about Funtown Mountain, but, I'm not upset that I do now.
Yeah, there you go. And so now, guys, if you're ever on I-65 going down towards Bowling Green into Glasgow, look up on the hill there, and you'll see Guntown Mountain ablazing, and you'll think of Funtown Mountain.
And then back to Guntown Mountain.
I've seen the signs for Guntown Mountain. Like, I've actually seen the thing driving out to Bowling Green, because Catherine's family's from out that way. But I can't say we've never gone to Guntown Mountain before. The closest thing next date. The only time I've ever spent in Cave City was at the Cracker Barrel that's up there.
I do enjoy a good Cracker Barrel country fried chicken.
Yeah, Catherine's turned me on to Cracker Barrel dinners.
So good, so cheap.
I know.
So much food.
I know. But yeah, Guntown Mountain, Funtown Mountain. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for checking out this show. We're going to get ready to listen to Evans here in the next episode.
Yeah, it'll be a doozy.
All right, I can't wait. All right, guys. Well, that's it for our episode with Evan Drysdale on So Here's the Story. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Next week, we're going to hear Evan's story and what he has to share with me this time around. So be sure to check in next week. Remember, you can also follow Evan on Twitter and Instagram at Flakey Square. You can follow me at my personal Twitter account at Dan Pauley 14. And you can follow the show at FITC Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. And always be sure to email the show if you have any suggestions at friendsinthecorner@gmail.com. That's friendsinthecorner, all together lowercase, at gmail.com. So guys, with that's the end of our episode. So guys, get out there. Go support Pitana. Go support Goodfellas. Go support Pies and Pints. Let them know Dan Pauley sent you. And we'll see you guys here next week. That's a wrap.